Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Heaslip. I'm the Director of Solutions Engineering at Colorfront. We are here again at the beautiful Okura Hotel at IBC 2023, demoing all the new features and technologies that we're showing to all of our customers. There's a lot of big news, as if you listen to and follow to all the things that Colorfront tends to do every year. We do a lot in a short period of time. So we're going to go through a couple of things today. What you're seeing behind me right now is the new SDR Remap to HDR Dolby Vision pipeline that we've been working on as a partnership with Dolby. Bill Feitner, our CTO and Chief Color Scientist, has been working really hard on this, and it's been a long, year-long project to get it to this. But what you're actually seeing is on the left-hand side, you have the original SDR content that was shot. And then we're using the Colorfront engine to remap up into HDR. And then we're applying the Dolby Vision metadata and then using the Dolby Vision metadata to remap it back down to SDR. And what you're actually getting is on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, matching SDR going through the entire Dolby Vision pipeline. What this gives is the end users, whether it's a studio or an OTT platform, the ability to take their content, whether new or old, and bring it into a true single master workflow where you can take your SDR content, bring it up to HDR, get it into Dolby Vision to be able to deliver it to all those great televisions out there, come back down to SDR and know that the creative intent between the original SDR and the now Dolby Vision remapped is perfectly matching. And so it's a really great technology, and we're excited to get it into the hands of our users. Next on all the things is a lot of usability improvements that we've made for our end users. In addition to having the ability to add new contextual menus, we've actually added audio improvements. And one of those improvements is to be able to take a grouped audio channel. Say you've got a 5:1 grouped mix. We can actually right-click and make that a multi-channel audio track. So you can actually then start to modify each individual track on the timeline. You can move them back and forth, and you can even edit them. One of the biggest requests over many of years is the ability to have audio crossfades, audio fade in, audio fades out. And now that we can actually take the multi-channel audio, treat them all as individual channels, replace the center channel with the German language, you can actually go in and say cut a section out, and then you can actually do a proper fade in and fade out or a crossfade between those in order to make sure there's no clicks and pops when you're doing your mastering. This helps speed up the entire pipeline for those simple fixes that you need to do when you're doing a lot of localization, as opposed to having to come in, do some things, move out to another platform, say Pro Tools, do a bunch of stuff and come back in. So it doesn't have all the crazy feature sets of Pro Tools, because that's a great program, but it allows our end users to move quickly in order to deliver more feature sets. In addition to that, we have the new support for OTIO. For those who don't know, it's an interoperable standard that everyone's sort of slowly starting to adopt. Well, what it would do is you can take a timeline and say Adobe Premiere, export an OTIO, and we can import that OTIO, and it has all the video tracks, the audio tracks, the timeline, and it will build it automatically, and it will match what you were seeing in editorial or in finishing before it was delivered to transcoder in order to, again, speed up the pipeline. In addition to that, we also have a couple of new tools. One is our new logo tool, where you can actually load a logo into, for burn-ins or whatever, and you can actually go in and do color conversion of that. So say it's a sRGB logo, you can convert it to PQ because you're delivering to an HDR display, or one of those types of workflows. And we've also added our new Slate tool. So many of our customers asked for the ability to add slates. You got the heads or tails, and typically you'd have to go in to like Photoshop, make a slate, bring it in, drop it in a timeline, but then you can't edit it. So now what we've done is we've added the ability to import a text file and actually be able to modify that text file on the fly, edit the channels, change the spacing, and actually use variables to say bring up the time code or the date it was created or the total running time, and you can automatically just drop those in your timeline and add it to your menu and your delivery system very quickly. I know we only have 3 to 5 minutes on these, so I can go for a long time. So I'm going to speed up a little bit. One of the big things you see on the left-hand side is our streaming player software. All of our software streams to the streaming player. It runs on iOS, Apple tvOS, and iPadOS. And one of the biggest features we've added for this year is the ability to have pointers. So you can actually join sessions, have multiple people join. And if you activate the pointers, everyone gets a different color, and you can kind of circle things like, oh, do you guys see this problem over here? And we've also added the ability to have chat inside the app. So you can actually talk to each other without having to spin up something like a Zoom or a WebEx at the same time on another device. So you can actually interact inside the app with other people on the streaming player. And then finally, obviously the big talk of the show is generative AI. And so we have started to investigate these technologies as a way to kind of spark conversations on how to help speed up workflows and make all of the people that do QC and mastering be able to get more done in a given day and help give them the tools to excel at what they're already doing. Two of those things are, one is Whisper AI, and so it's a open source speech to text video platform. So what we can do is we can take a video, drop it into the timeline, you run it across the timeline, and it will actually create an SRT subtitle file that you can then bring back into Transcoder, drop it on the timeline, and actually start to look at the subtitles. Or you could deliver that SRT file to your subtitling team, and they can go through, format it, check for spelling, check for actual errors, but it helps speed up making subtitling now that the providers are delivering to way more countries than they ever have before. So it adds all the ability to even listen to something in English and give you a German subtitle on the output. So it's a very great tool, again, just to get everybody thinking. And then a new thing that we also launched is, or not launched, it's not an official launch, but the sparked a conversation, is we've implemented the YOLO video AI tool. And it's just an open source toolkit that you can actually take and do the inference on the GPU system inside your office. So all of our users have heavy GPU capable systems. So you can feed your library into the program. We can run the inference. It's your library. We don't own it. It's not a closed box solution. Again, this is to get everybody started, to talk about how they can utilize it. And you can build your own library and your own tool in order to do QC or to do on-set checks, right? I want to check for a boom mic. I want to check for crew in the shot. Or you can take it to the other side where it's like, I'm going to do a mastering and I need to make sure there's no Coca-Cola bottles. So we need to scan across the whole thing, find those Coca-Cola bottles, send them over to VFX and change them to say Pepsi. Again, this is just an idea, a conversation starter for all of our customers to continue engaging with us and see where they want to go with it. Again, that's everything in as short of a nutshell as I could possibly get it done. We really appreciate your time and looking forward to seeing you. If you have any questions, please reach out. My name is Brandon Heaslip, and my email is brandon@colorfront.com, and happy to answer any of your questions.